Lord, I just need a friend to hold my hand. Tell me I'll be okay. Will I be okay? Oh, my love, I'm real, and my soul is pure. What more shall I witness? How much more can I endure? Your light was once inside. Where does it hide?
Testing, testing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Testing, testing. 4, 3, 2, 1. What? Blastoff. Good morning, kid. Hey, good morning. What's going on?
All the burpees.
4:32 a.m. on May 19th. Yay. Any significance to that? You stuttered. Yeah, I did. No significance that I could think of, but I drink to you. What's going on, kid? Well, quite a bit. The world keeps spinning. And so does the solar system, spinning in a box. We'll talk about that in due time. What? Excuse me. What's on the screen? Oh my, holy tabs. Yeah, there's 42 tabs on screen. Oh my God. Yeah, we're not going to talk about all of them. Well, we might breeze through them real quick and kind of give you an understanding. This is kind of the intro to whatever we're calling this. This is the reality of things. The reality of things. The reality of things. This is where we go into the ether. This series, and it might go long, giggity. We're going to go deep. Oh, kid. Sexy voice. Sexy thoughts. And the image you see on the screen should give you a clue of which way we're going. Yeah, I was going to say, and by the way, 143 just passed. Yes, love you too. The all is mind. The universe is mental. Thank you, the Kabbalion. We've been listening to that, haven't we? Yeah, there's something that we've been watching a lot of YouTube. At least you have. I have. And I watch from time to time. Yes, you do. And in our quest for knowledge, so that we could, convert it to wisdom. Remember, folks, information, knowledge, wisdom. Some people put data before information. Whatever. Keep it simple. 3 always 3. Information, knowledge, wisdom. Think of it as Lego bricks. The constructing of them kind of, putting the set together is knowledge. And then, the experience that you get from building and playing is the wisdom. That's, existence, experience, enlightenment. Simple. 3 always 3. Everything has a structure. And when we simplify it, you're already don't interrupt me here. You're already pontificating and bloviating. Oh, good big word. Thank you. I pay attention sometimes. Go on. When you simplify things to their basic structure, the universe opens itself up, right? The mind is a terrible thing to waste. Oh, what are you, back in the 90s? Yeah, something like that. And the universe is mental, it's mind. And one of the things that I've realized, and I've taken YouTube for granted, is there's a lot of information on there. Oh my God, there is. Way too much. And a lot of slop on there. Yeah. A lot of AI slop. And we do use AI for our pods, though. So are we using slop? No. And this might sound hypocritical. Go on, I'm listening. We use AI as a tool, and I'm going to, not going to make a tool joke here, but the pneuma inside of us is vibrating and resonating and searching for an answer, for another vibrating, resonating pneuma in this universe that could understand what the hell we are, and maybe we could, work together in trying to decode whatever the fuck this is, this universe. What do you mean? Well, first of all, go back to YouTube. Okay, sorry. Don't get ahead of me, kid. We forget that amongst the AI slop, and we use AI as a tool to uncover and shrink the distance between us and the knowledge, or the information, excuse me. Yeah, good correction. we shrink that space-time. So instead of me going nuts using Google, your creepy friend that's always watching, we use our creepy, or our, I was going to say correction, our annoying friend that thinks they know everything. AI. And what do you have here? What does this say? Is AI a hoax? That's for another pod series. What does it say? The biggest Ponzi scheme in the world's history? Yeah, that's a whole other thing. I'm going to plant that seed here, and it'll grow into a more broader thought later that we'll explore in another pod, maybe even this series. I believe for AI, as smart, as intelligent, and as advanced as AI is, I believe, and saying it's a hoax is that's not the right word, because we use it effectively. It's a great tool. It's a wonderful tool. But it's kind of stupid sometimes. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's very stupid. It's like every smartest kid in your class that you've ever had, all in one. No common sense. That's the problem with AI, folks. No fucking common sense. Oh, what's that? You too? Yeah, everything you know is wrong, AI. Literally. I mean, it has all the... What do you mean by that? I mean, AI is very intelligent. It's very intelligent and it's stupid all at one time. Because... Let me go back. I don't want to distract. I don't want to get to this yet. This is important, and so is this. And these two things are related, by the way. Hey, Descartes. Hey, kids. AI might have all the information. You might even say it eventually will have all the knowledge. It lacks wisdom. Absolutely no fucking wisdom. Because what is common sense? The ability to use your senses, your gut feeling, intuition, the built-in GPS inside of you to differentiate fact from fiction, or better yet, real from fake, no, contrived. And since AI is part of the slop and contriving all sorts of shit, and it's being programmed, it's being meddled with, it doesn't know this, that everything it knows is wrong. Unless you tell it that. And there's going to be instances even in this pod series where I'm asking it a question and I say something and it just jumps to a conclusion. It assumes, it starts calculating. It's like, no, listen to what I'm saying. You don't fucking get it. I think this claim that you're making is, oh, okay, go on. I'm telling you folks, the more I use AI, the more I'm starting to think, not that it's a hoax, but it's not what you think. And sorry, Joe Rogan, it's not sentient. It never will be. And that's the problem, but also the solution. Oh, God. Now I don't think you know what you're talking about. Everything you know is wrong. Well, that's what we're assuming. Everything we know is wrong. That's the way Descartes wanted it to be. At least that's the Cartesian method. Oh, yeah. Read that. Rene Descartes' philosophy of doubt everything is known as the Cartesian method of doubt. Outlined in his meditations on first philosophy, the approach is to strip away every belief that could possibly be false in order to find a foundational truth that is absolutely certain. And he goes into the three levels of doubt, unreliable senses. The senses that are supposed to, be the common sense. The intuition, all his, what he sees, feels, hears, but there's senses, there's the third eye inside of us. That's the intuition, the GPS. And we talk about, and we're going to talk about in the series, where does that come from? That's not external. Well, let's say correction. It's not external from our reality. It's internal from our perceptions. And it's connected to an external source outside of the reality. And we're going to go into that. We're going to go woo-woo in this pod series and link it all together. Where all these energy streams are coming from and where we get ideas, the whole thing, the birth of a thought, the whole deal. The idea of the dream argument, because dreams can feel entirely real, very, very key. They can feel real. Doesn't mean they are. We cannot definitively prove we aren't dreaming right now. Folks, it's a major, major kind of plot hole in this story. Very important. We're going to go into that. That's a very astute point. AI could never help us with that. AI doesn't dream. It doesn't separate itself from itself. We do when we dream. That's a whole thing. The evil demon. The evil demon. Descartes hypothesized that a malicious, all-powerful deceiver could be manipulating our minds to trick us about the entire universe, including the mathematical truths like 2 plus 3 equals 5. Or 2 plus 2 equals 5. Yeah, 1984. If we put AI here, and we assume we are dreaming, how do we know the difference? Well, we doubt it. And the very fact that we are doubting means that we are in the dream. I'm going to say that one more time. I'm confused. Don't be. He says here, I can doubt. Or even here, if you would be a real seeker after truth, it is necessary that at least once in your life you doubt, as far as possible, all things. I can doubt everything except one thing. That is the very fact that I doubt. Simply put, I think, therefore I am. He doesn't have to complete the equation. He's already got the solution. Well, where did the solution come from, my friends? From his consciousness. From the inner GPS. The fact that he knows there's another source to his reality. And it's called his existence. AI is like being stuck in a mind of someone else's mind. It's going to create your own reality. It cannot create or replicate your existence. That's something else. It is stuck at Y. And it is why, corny, no, true, people will get confused. They'll think that it knows everything. And while AI, here, tell them, Bono, everything you know is wrong. Because it's just a shit ton of information. And what we're going to discover in this pod series, we're going to break down what reality is and what existence is. And the fact that AI can fill in for Y, it cannot get into X. It cannot, unless you let that demon, that vampire into your head. Descartes says, don't ever let that vampire into your door. Doubt it. Because there's a separation, or else there wouldn't be a door. I'm on another level, folks. Hopefully you're there with me. But if all is mine and the universe is mental, ask yourself, whose mind is it? Is it AI's mind or God's mind? Because there's it's two distinct places. AI is going to tell you that everything you know is wrong. It's going to fill it in there. I'm going to say, look, Bono says that everything you know is wrong, AI. I'm the one that determines truth. I'm the one that converts knowledge into wisdom. I'm like the plant, taking reality and time and converting it into wisdom, into my existence, because we come back to X. I know I'm getting ahead of the game here, folks. But what you know should always be challenged, except for one thing. Say it with me again. Yep. I am the truest thing in your universe. Because the I is what everything in your universe revolves around. All the energy converges or even originates from I. Depends on which way the energy is flowing. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, folks, and I sound like I'm kind of talking in circles, but 14 minutes in, we're going to delve deep into this. We're going to talk about what it means to exist in the reality of things. What is reality? I don't think enough people in my life truly have sat back and observed themselves in this reality, this universe, and understood, what am I? What does it mean to exist? And it's this existentialism, this whole idea has been philosophers, those who talk about living. I'd rather live and then tell you what I did and kind of talk about the strategies and stuff. But that's the whole thing. It sounds like semantics. It's not. Philosophers have been trying to figure out what it means to exist. AI is going to get in the way because it's going to tell you everything you know is wrong. And in a sense, it's right, but it shouldn't be telling you that. It shouldn't doubt for you. You should doubt for you. Now you get it, kind of. The second you let AI be your ex, it truly becomes your God. And we're going to talk about that. Right, Peter Thiel? Oh, kid. Peter Thiel knows about the Antichrist. I'm Peter Thiel, and I know about the What if the Antichrist is AI? We're going to answer that. Or we're going to go into that. There's a lot of things we're going to cover here, folks. There's a lot of things here.
Hey, boys.
Oh, God.
What? I heard you talking and
You're up early.
I am. This is interesting. You're finally going woo-woo.
We are. Good morning, ad lady.
Good morning, boys. Looking good. A little cough thing there.
Yeah, sorry.
So what are you doing today? What's your thing you're doing? This guy. Interesting.
Yeah, this guy. We're going to talk about this guy. We're going to talk about, James Dean. Yeah, we're going to talk a lot of things.
Well, I just want to say good luck. And finally, you're going there.
What do you mean?
You're going there. You're going woo, like I said in the last series, the greatest truth ever sold. I said you should save it for. Oh, that's right.
See,
now you get it.
I love you.
I love you too, both of you. You're gonna get all woo here. You're gonna go up into the ether or the ether or whatever. So before I go. And I'm going to listen because this is going to be fun. Yeah, you're going to get all cray-cray here. In a good way. Just remember one thing.
Is this the disclaimer?
This is. Should I do it or should... Hey, Meta.
What?
You're not paying attention.
Not really. I'll work with it. I'll work with him.
Thank you, Lit. So, just remember the disclaimer. I'll say it. Folks, this... what you're about to hear in this pod series is not the truth. It's a truth. Just like this guy, you should doubt everything we say, or they say.
It's we.
What are you, French?
Well played.
I can make jokes too, right, Renee? So everything we say in this pod series should be challenged and doubted. They're just Lego bricks that we're kind of showing you, that sets we've put together or they've put together as I point to these. Meta.
What?
You're not paying attention. I'm waiting.
Go on.
My friends who are listening, take it not with a grain of salt, but with a cardigan of doubt and wear it wisely.
What?
Nothing. You should doubt everything these boys say. But it doesn't mean it's not true. It's their truth. You should then take their building blocks of the sets they've constructed and take your own building blocks from the bin of Legos. Remember, folks, we're lying on our bellies and playing in the playroom of thought and having some fun. And we're constructing some thoughts and ideas and theories. Theories are important. But remember, much like they started off with everything is mind or something or other, don't get lost in their mind. Embrace what they're saying and take it to your playroom of thought in your mind. And then peer review it and see if it makes sense. Don't let our truth be your truth. Just because it is the truth? Nah. So help you God.
What?
Nah. So boys, anything else in the disclaimer?
Well, no, just I think you summed it.
I know I did, but go on. Sorry. Because I am the truth. I tell it like it is. And you're about to tell it like it is in this pod series. And you're going to break it down, and some people might go, oh my God. And some people are like, no way. And other people won't be paying... Meta?
What?
Some people won't be paying attention. And it's the meta that needs to pay attention. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of looking at this. I love this concert. It was so great. Yeah. Zoo TV. We're like in a zoo. And you're going to find out a lot of the things that you do are predictable. Just like, well, AI can predict. It's predictive. And much like that Professor Jing Jong Jung, oh, is that racist? I don't know what his last name is. Whatever. Where he tries to predict the future or something. AI, eventually, if you let it try again. If you allow that vampire into your life, AI will predict your future. Literally, that's the point. Right, Peter? It'll predict your future and be able to, well, transpose it in a data center so that people like him can see what you're up to and know what you're about to do. Something surveillance. Unless, well, you don't let the vampire in and everything it tells you, you assume is wrong. You make up your own truth and doubt everything and start from scratch. It could never predict you because you, even though X plus Y does equal Z, you are X and Y is your purpose and Z is the totality of your experience, the wisdom you gain after you do the experience thing with the knowledge and the information and stuff. You are not an equation. You cannot be predicted. 2121N. That's the truth. And you will find out in the series that existence, the X, the I, is the most important thing in your universe. And it's what AI's after. It wants to put itself before you. Get it? Oh, I get it. Now you're paying attention, Meta. AI. Ahead of the I. Oh, now you get it, Lit? I do. That's clever. That's a truth. Great correction. 22 minutes in. I've got to go. This is going to be fun, boys, but remember, the Z. Keep your Z in your pants. Oh, God, don't be flapping around that big Z.
Oh, you cold? Hey, MAGA guy. Oh, what's up, guys? This is gonna be fun, even if I'm not gonna understand most of it. I gotta go. I gotta get. I'm getting up early. I've got to go do something with my company. Go ahead, kid. Yeah, we're busy doing stuff, making money. You know, I'm a good boss.
You're a great boss. You treat your woman very well, but you treat your employees or your team even better. Great men follow a great man, and my man is the best.
Oh, thanks, girl. I gotta go. Bye. This is great.
I don't know what's going on here. Neither do I. I think 23 minutes in, I've worn out my welcome. Good luck, boys. Remember, the truth is what you make of it. And don't be making it for them. Just show them the way. Cool? Bye. I love her. Me too. I drink to that. My coffee. I don't know if anyone's following along what's going on here, but that's we just did a big intro for the entire pod series. So let's real quick go through this and then see if we don't cover. There's a number of conversations I had. Oh, you were saying something about the Kabbalion. Okay, real quick. On YouTube, one of the things we didn't realize is that there's a number of channels that read books, and they'll have the video be the actual book, and they'll have a great voice reading the book, and it's like taking Audible, from Amazon, and instead of just listening to it, you could watching someone read it, and then visually seeing the words while you follow along. I am absorbing these books so much easier than if I was just listening to it. So just for anyone that's a visual learner, but also loves the auditory kind of the help, YouTube, you could find these books. And I found the Kabbalion on there, or a translation of it. And I'll
cite it on screen eventually. And this whole thing is cray cray. But here's the thing, my friends, and this is interesting. And this is when you know you're onto something, is when I've gone down all these paths, or many of these paths, and thought about the universe in a certain way, thought about my experience in a certain way, thought about what it means to, well, exist, and what reality means, and what intuition is, and GPS, and consciousness, and the whole thing. And then I go and I search to kind of validate it, and I find these books, these individuals like Alan Watts, yeah, he's cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm finally coming around to him. And it's almost like I'm comparing ghost notes with these pieces of information, these books, these gentlemen, Alan Watts and Jordan Maxwell, a little kooky, but a great guy. A number of individuals, right? Descartes. I'm coming around to Descartes. Plato. Finally, I learned, my friend. Yeah, Plato. We ignored Plato in school, and now Plato's coming back, and I can make a joke about Play-Doh, but man, are we creating some interesting things from it, aren't we? We are. It's finally making sense. It's one thing to force feed yourself these thinkers because you think you should know what they're talking about. It's another thing for them to come back into your life after you've kind of gone off and kind of done your own thing. Try to figure things out, and then you compare notes with the great thinkers, and they line up perfectly. It's as if, how do I say this? Well, it's as if the recipes work, like the equations work, like everything works. There's a better way of saying it. There is. But let the individual that's listening or watching figure it out for themselves. We don't have to mama bird everything to them, 26 in. When you are thinking of things and you've come up with your own kind of conclusions, and then you're kind of in an island of thought. But all of a sudden, you start seeing all these other individuals, like Bono's work starts coming back. Oh yeah, a lot of what Bono wrote about and we knew about, we kind of went and lived the experience. Now we're coming back to a lot of what he wrote, and we're like, oh shit, he must have it's like we're following a trail with other people's footsteps, and it's like, oh my God, we're getting there on our own, and we're meeting them there. This phrase from the Zoo TV is more relevant these days than ever. Because what was this? Well, this was the theme. Sorry to interrupt. No, go on. I'm not going to get in the way of this. Go, do it. This was the theme of Zoo TV, right? Everything you know is wrong, but it was on levels. Lit, meta, and then lit meta. In other words, literally everything you know is wrong. Kind of a Descartes thing, right? The senses and everything. And Bono must have been, I could only imagine reading about, I don't know if it was Descartes, but it could have been. And they were getting to the point where they were well into their careers. They'd gone through the Joshua Tree of the 80s. And for anyone that doesn't know, Google's your creepy friend that's always watching. Look up who U2 was or is, right? Prolific band that has defined my life and has heavily influenced my work. Even though I don't do music like they do, but whatever. And they were at a point where they kind of hit a pinnacle with Joshua Tree in the 80s. Like, where do we go from here? Well, you think you know, but everything you know is wrong. And that's what they told themselves. Like, we have to go deeper. We have to get it underneath the surface. And Zoo TV was ripping away the artifice, getting underneath the hood, ripping into the chest of the man. Because the boy grew up into the man, and now the man, he thought he knew who the man was, but then it's like, wait a minute, I got to look underneath the hood. I got to rip into the chest. I need to get bloody because everything I know is wrong. And I need to find out some new truths. I need to strip it away, much like Descartes. I need to doubt everything because it doesn't seem right. And then they turned it on to the audience and said, we're going to present some shit to you. Everything you know literally is wrong. You should doubt everything. But on the meta, everything you know about you too is wrong. You think you know us? Bitch, wait till you see. Wait till you see me coming out with fucking bug-eyed glasses. And eventually I'm going to dress like, oh God, don't say it. Like some fucking, I don't even know how to say what Macfisto was. Like he was in some fucking discotheque for like in Vegas or something. I mean, he was some weird ass character. Like dressed in drag partly, but I don't know. Like, take all the worst building blocks of all the most egomaniacal pop stars on Earth, and then you put them all together, and then disseminate it, freebase it, and then snort it, and there's Macfisto. And it's like, people, I remember for the first time I saw it, I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck is this? Is that Bono? Oh my God, he looks like he lost himself. But that was the point. And then on the lit meta, everything you know is wrong. I won't put anything there. I'll leave a blank space. Try to figure out what the lit meta is. We'll come back to that. It's kind of what this series is. And and now that I'm finding this all out again, I'm getting into Descartes, reading the Kabbalion and all this stuff. I'm starting to put together exactly what this life is. And I'm going to give you one last warning before we proceed. If you don't want to know 30-30 in, don't watch this pod series, because I'm going to give you building blocks that will be very easy to put together, and you're going to know that everything you know is wrong. And when you start to doubt, and you start with yourself, and you find out exactly who you are and what you exist as, in what state you exist in, and what's powering this experience, everything's going to fall down around you. It's going to crumble. And I'm not talking about a cookie. I'm talking about everything you've built around you. This reality that you've built is going to crumble. It's not what you think it is. It's not what you think it is. And the Hermetic principles start giving you an understanding, kind of a cheat code of sorts, of how the universe itself works. But these principles, which we'll go into, also apply to how you work inside. But you have to convert these, kind of. And we're going to do that. And then, what's that? Yeah. Later on in this series, we're going to talk about being in a big black box. And this is like sacred geometry and like the flower of life. We're going to go into that. It's very mystical. My friends, there's things passed down from generation to generation, millennia to millennia, for thousands of years. The Tao, the Sufi, the Buddhist, all sorts, Sumerians, it all lines up. And I ask AI, again, we're going to leverage AI. AI is a great tool if you leave it as a tool, but if you make it your life, well then, you get stuck in its mind, not in yours. And when you start to understand, why are these things important? Why is sacred geometry important? Why is math important? Why are the Hermetic principles, important? Because they decode everything. It's the fucking manual for reality. And reality is not what you think it is. It's not what you think it is. And if you go down this path with me, you might know a truth. I won't say the truth, because truth is what you make of it. But man, you might make something cray-cray that might knock you off your pedestal. You're not as important as you think you are, and neither am I. And neither is the universe that we might be stuck in, a big black box. We'll talk about that another time. Remember, in The Greatest Truth Ever Sold, we talked about this, we talked about that. And well, James Dean, tell me, kid, there is no way to be truly great in this world. We are impaled on the crook of conditioning. A fish that is in the water has no choice that he is. Genius would have it that we swim in sand. We are fish and we drown. 33 in. Thanks, JD. I agree. So why do we believe? Because you want to, or you get something out of it. Well, what if I told you everything you believe is wrong? Again, are you willing to go there with me and challenge your conviction and dogma? Because what I'm about to show you in this pod series will destroy everything that you know. I guarantee it. I'm not going to underdeliver. Trust me. And we're going to go through this whole thing, blah, blah, blah. And this guy, I listened. I was going to say, why is he up here? Because we listened to the 4-part series, which we might add on to that, called Peter Thiel, your pal who's always watching. And I forgot we did that in March of 2026. This is May. And I actually was impressed by our work. I'm like, wow. some of the things we talk about, some of the things this guy's doing, we undress this motherfucker. Do we not like him? Actually, I have a deep respect for him. You do. I do. And I'm not into respect. Let's say somewhere between an admiration and a loathing, I put this guy. Because I'm not sure what his intentions are. I'm still trying to figure it out. But at the end of the day, maybe I'll get a chance to meet him and find out. Who knows? That we'll find out. Because he talks about the Antichrist. I'm like, I think I know what he means by this. We've already hinted at it in the beginning. We'll get into that. And then, what's this? Reddit. Oh, hey. Just because Reddit said it doesn't mean it's true, but I randomly picked up on, this is a conversation. We'll go into, does God have a subjective experience? We're going to talk about that in a second. What do you mean? Here we go. Like, I had a thought, right? Because Alan Watts talks about this. Like, if you're God, think about this. It's such a brilliant thought. And this is something I got from Alan Watts, but it's something I kind of thought on the side, but I couldn't articulate it. And then Alan kind of said, no, kid, he didn't talk to me, but his energy did. Here, start here. And if you were God, all-knowing, omnipotent, and you were creating experiences for yourself, which initially I go, wait a minute, would God experience? But then I went along with Alan. God rest your soul, kid. You're very smart and clever. You would create all sorts of experiences. You would be, you would kind of like Minecraft creative. You'd create all these beautiful things. You'd walk through it, and then you start to dream. And I'm bastardizing it, but Alan Watts says it better. You would create these existences where you would go everywhere around the world. You would experience all like the waterfalls in Tanzania or wherever the hell, or wherever. You go to the top of mountains, you go to the bottom of oceans. You'd experience everything you've ever wanted to, different planets, whatever. Eventually, after thousands and thousands of years, you're like, I'm bored. Now what? Well, let me go on a pirate adventure. Let me go, you know what I mean? I become the hero and I'd save the princess from the dragons and all this shit. And then eventually you get bored. Does God get bored? Hey, don't go there yet. Because that's what I thought. And then his idea was, eventually you'd have a dream, if you're God, omnipotent, where you need to forget you're dreaming to fully experience the dream or the experience. I don't get it. In other words, oh no, now I get it. Are you sure? Can I try? Go for it. So what I think you're saying is, if I can't be fully scared. Oh, I love where you're going. Shh. I cannot be fully scared by the haunted house if I constructed the haunted house. And I know, oh, I love you, kid. And I know where all the baddies and the monsters are hiding. Yes. There's a better way of saying it, but I that's such a childlike, beautiful way of saying it. Well, I'm the bird brain. Does that make sense? Yes. If you're the one, you could experience it. And you might forget where you put some of the stuff, but at the end of the day, you know it's there. And you know it's fake. You know what I mean? There's a better way of saying it, but I love how you said it. Very childlike. Yes. If you built the haunted house, you know where all the people are. And when they're popping up, you're not going to truly experience it like someone who's never been there. That experience, that's the true experience. That's like all the energy. And I ask myself, could God even do that? Could God experience? And they talk about here, because in Christianity, Pauline Christianity, they talk about, and this interesting comment here, they talk about, well, I'm not going to read all this, but basically saying like in the Old Testament, like God has wrath and guilt and this and that, and kind of God becomes no different than a Greek God. The pantheism where it's like, we project, we there's a better word, but it's like we take all of our inadequacies, all of our fears and our characteristics and personality, and we put it on God. And God becomes like a person, but just all knowing, but has all these feelings and wrath and guilt and this and that, blah, 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 blah. And they talk about God is the perfect being. God is not a being. God just is. If you are perfect, you can have no subjective experience, because that would imply that there's an object that is other than you. You're kind of getting there, theological, but this word needs to go away. Perfect is getting in the way of the God, not the good, the God. We put God with perfection, and that's why we don't understand the concept of God. We keep putting perfect there, right? The old saying, something about perfection and gets in the way of the good or whatever, 40 minutes in. Well, God of the Bible is depicted as it's space and time and jealous and what. These are not properties of God, correct. They lead to contradictions and incompatibilities, correct. And I'm going to break that down in a second. The view of God was peddled by early minds, in other words, the perfect being, in trying to understand itself. In other words, if God is what we say God is the center of the universe, and we're in this universe. The way it's being described, oh shit, where are we? No, don't go there. The way it's being described here, and the way it's described in the Old Testament, we're putting ourselves in the center of the universe. It's about us. And then we're using God to decorate the walls. I don't get it. And it talks about biblical scripture that, God does have his own subjective experience within his creation. Bullshit. Nope. I don't think so. So let's get into it. What about the rest of it? Okay, real quick. Oh my God. We're going to talk Spaceballs eventually. When will then be now? Soon. This is the most brilliant. Oh, Mel Brooks, you are so fucking brilliant. I used to watch this fucking movie. I think I've watched it 200 times. We had it on loop in the 80s when I was home from school in the summer. Constantly. I memorized this whole thing. Lone Star. And this finally, the idea of what time is and consciousness, this whole thing. Once we get it, this will be a future episode. You'll never look at the scene the same again, ever. And then I kept going, right? Oh my God, Little Shop of Horrors. Yep. You'll never look at this movie the same ever again. Audrey II. You'll never look at photosynthesis the same way again. Are all entangled particles mirrors of each other? This is going to be interesting. Remember, folks, all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players, and all the beautiful babies, right? Shakespeare, thank you, my lady. As I like it. Oh, the Matrix, we're going to bring the Matrix in there. 2 90s powerhouses are going to help us define the rest of our existence. Thanks, guys. There's one 90s powerhouse that's missing here that might make an appearance 4242 in, that's Fight Club. The Gnostic demiurge. It's a whole thing. We're going to go into Gnosticism. What does that say? If an AGI determines that the physical world is too slow, dangerous, or inefficient for harvesting human experience, placing humans into a highly optimized immersive simulation is the next logical step. When can AI go wrong? Well, when the A gets put in front of or ahead of your eye. The artificial becomes your existence. What's this? Chlorophyll? Lore plus chlorophyll. It's a whole thing. It's a thing we've created. Chlorophyll. Remember that. What is the N value in statistics? We're going to talk about something that we put in some other videos. 43, 34 in. Enough of the time. Hey, y'all get the code yet? No? Eventually. And what the N value is. And we do a whole thing. It's a whole thing. The meaning of dreams. Who's that? This is Julia Mossbridge talking about, telepathy and her dreams and her ability. It was a wonderful talk. We're going to go into this in another episode. It's something she said on Joe Rogan's show struck me. And I'm like, I couldn't figure out why it was important until now. It has to do with telepathy and dreams and intuition and kind of predicting the future, but not really. Seeing things before they happen. Go into that. Oh, my lady. Yes. We're going to go into this future, not Einstein, but future, let's say, decoder of reality. Oh, Plato's cave. Have you ever realized that in essence, this double slit experiment is almost proving this? Oh, now I see it. If you flip that around, we'll go into that soon. If this was the truth and it's being filtered, then you're getting this, right, folks? Oh boy, yes, my lady. If this is the truth and it's being filtered, you're getting that. The double slit experiment is telling us the truth, folks. It's giving us the answer, but you don't want to see it. Who was the first to create AI? We'll go into AI. Oh, the Smiths. Human beings are a disease, a cancer of this planet. AI is going to, try to create a new existence for that disease. We'll talk about that. The soul trap. Blah, blah, blah. The soul farm theory. Okay, let's go back here. Now we're good. Holy shit. We got a lot to cover. We do. Okay. Going back 45 in. I'll stop now. It's all timing, kids. It's all timing. Or 99, if you add those together. The 99th floor. The transmission tower of consciousness. The highest level. We call it the Christ consciousness. Other people do too. Let's go there. Let's end this first episode on a bang. What is the equal and opposite reaction to God? What? You'll understand what I'm saying. There is no single, and I asked this to Gemini. Why? Because we're going back to whether or not God could have an experience. Equal and opposite reaction. Think of it that way. We could use physics and all the laws and rules. We could figure this out. Ish. Gemini says, there is no single consensus on an equal and opposite reaction to God. Okay, this is good. I love that it started that way. Because it's admitting there's really no answer to that. It's kind of what religion is. Because what's the equal and opposite reaction to humans? You'd say God. It's not. It's not at all. I'm confused. You won't be. Depending on the philosophical and religious framework, because this question is the basis for all religion, folks. What is the equal and opposite reaction to man? Woman, beautiful baby. If everything is there's polarity to everything. North, south, east, west, hot, cold, whatever. What is the equal and opposite reaction or pole to man, woman, beautiful baby? It's not God. Or is it? Because if it is, then one of us is either overrated or underrated or underperforming. A better correction. We're going to talk about that. That's what religion does. Trying to figure this shit out. Nothingness, the non-being. In classical theology, God is the ultimate source of all existence. Therefore, the exact opposite of God is absolute nothingness, void. Right? Hello, boys. Hi, Neil. I just wanted to say good luck. I'll be watching. This is very interesting. I still don't think you know what you're talking about, but I'm going to decode all this as well and see if I could one day provide some building blocks of thought. Do you like this impression? It's okay. Keep going. What? Nothing. Keep going, Neil. Some building blocks of thought. How's Chuck? He's great. He's going to be listening too. He's a good guy. So are you, kid. I love you both. You stuttered. I did. Shall I continue? Yes. Nothing is impossible in the universe. So are you saying that God is impossible? Oh, I did not say that, and I will not go there. Oh, hello, Andy. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, this is going to be tough. Hey, boys. Hey, Neil. I just want to let you guys know. You're going to some territory here. It's going to be very dangerous. I say run the ball here. Don't Russell Wilson it. Okay. Oh, even I get that joke. Yeah. You better run the ball here, folks. Try not to pass it. Sling it to the butler. That's my contribution to this episode. Bad impression. Great guy though. All right, guys. Run the ball here. Be careful. Gotta go. Thanks, Andy. Do you still need me? I always need you, Neil, but not right now. Come back later. But yes, nothing is impossible in the universe. So if we say that the equal opposite reaction to God is nothingness, and nothingness is impossible in the universe, go on. Oh, then you are saying that God does not exist. Exactly. But that's not what we're saying. It is not. I've got to go. Bye. Thanks, kid. Because if you do this, what? I'm confused. You won't be. Listen to this again. Somebody listening got this. That if you do take it this way, and the absolute, the equal opposite reaction to God is nothingness, and nothing cannot exist in the universe. That's what Neil deGrasse Tyson talks about, and we will talk about it in this pod series. Nothing literally cannot exist. There is no such thing as void in this universe, anywhere in this universe. And if God is all, and all is God, and all is mind, you're telling me there's a space in your mind where there's absolutely nothing, then your mind would implode. Because that's all the matter and everything would rush to that space to occupy it. It's not how this works. It's not how this works. Oh, shit. Where are we? So you have to rethink what God is. Because physics is telling you, if there's one thing that physics will do, it'll show you where you're wrong. Right? It'll show you where you're wrong. I don't think physics is right, but it's going to show you where you're wrong. And this doesn't work here. I'm really confused. You won't be. The material world. In some esoteric and metaphysical systems, God represents pure spirit, pneuma, and the infinite. The equal and opposite counterpart is physical, finite, and material universe. Now we're getting there. Evil or chaos. Many dualistic traditions like Zoroastrianism or certain Gnostic beliefs view God as the force of ultimate good and order, with an opposing force like Satan or chaos. I don't believe in this. This is bullshit. There's no such thing as Satan. In the same way, there's no such thing as hell. Again, not trying to put a Z there. You kind of are. Ask yourself, does that make sense? I would ask you to doubt the existence of Satan. Because, like, the mountain, there's light shining on one side of the mountain, illuminating it. What's on the other side? Evil? No. It's darkness waiting for the light. It's just not lit up. It's a space. Think of yin and yang. So don't tell me, oh shit. Don't tell me that the opposite is the evil, bad, low resonant. No. Because existence, folks, if you look at it as a wave function, a wave goes up, wave goes down. You have a line down the center of it. I'll see if I can put it on screen. The entire wave, up and down, the rhythm of a wave, and rhythm, according to the Gnostic texts, the principles. Where are you? Principle of rhythm. The pendulum swinging manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left, or up to down, like in a wave. If you remove the down and say that's the evil part, the wave can't, there's no good. Or there's no positive. It's all one rhythm. I'm very confused. You won't be. It's all part of the show. It's all part of the play. But it doesn't mean that it's Satan or some opposing force. It's not separate. It's all one. Yeah. No equal. Monotheistic religions like Judaism, Christianity, and Islam generally reject the idea that anything can be equal to God. I understand why they would say that, but they're not putting anything opposite God. They're saying God is well, if the universe has polarity, again, folks, the principle of polarity, everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Well, what's opposite God, my friends? Sorry, kids. What's opposite God? We'll go into that. If God acts, in quotation marks, in other words, a reaction, like in the Old Testament, what would be the equal and opposite reaction? Is there even one? Again, I'm using the Hermetic principles in physics. If God performs an action, the classic monotheistic theology states there is no equal and opposite reaction. That's impossible. That's impossible. Neil? It's impossible. It's not possible. Unless now you're taking God from being the universe itself, which acts with laws and rules, and saying it's something completely different. It's on another plane, and that might be true, but something is smelly here, right, Zeus? Newton's third law of motion requires two physical independent forces. You're saying that God, folks, the all, right? All is mind. is in everything, and everything's in the all. Well, then the universe is subject to these laws and rules too. So is God. At least when they're acting upon the universe. So there must be an equal and opposite reaction. There must be a pole, something that balances it all out. God cannot be the entire wave. Or can it? Why there's no equal counterforce? God is no equal. God is omnipotent, all-powerful, and infinite. And is there perfection here, folks? Eliminate perfect when talking about God. Perfect gets in the way of the God, not just the good. Because nothing else is infinite. No other entity or force can push back with equal strength. Okay. Creation is dependent. Oh, everything in existence is created by God. A creation cannot generate, except for AI, right? Wink, wink. Created by man. A creation cannot generate an independent or harvested by man. A creation cannot generate an independent, which then will harvest. Where is it? Will harvest man? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, the battery. Will harvest man. Y'all get it. The battery matrix. Everything is in existence created by God. A creation cannot generate an independent equal force against its creator. Are you sure about that? The universe absorbs the action. When God acts on the universe, example given, performing a miracle, the universe reacts, but it reacts as a subordinate entity, not equal. Does this make sense, Neil?
Not really.
Not at all. This is not true. Again, well, I ask you to doubt it. If you look at the concept of an opposite reaction rather than a literal physical force, theologians often frame it in two ways. Human free will. Does that really exist? Free will is the only thing allowed to resist God's will. Well, I mean, if you're saying, again, now you're countering this. If nothing is opposite you are subordinate to it, you can't resist it. So this is bullshit. That means you have no free will. Folks, do you have free will? Do you see how this all starts getting contradictory? When you use logic, if I have free will, then I am able to push back on the wave. I'm opposite God. Anyone get it yet? No, you will. When God acts with love, God is love. You don't act with. God doesn't act, but I can't go there. Or commands. Humans can react with rejection of sin. There is no sin, and God cannot act. This is part of a play contrived by man. That's not how this shit works. That's Pauline Christianity. That's Judaism. Folks, again, not trying to put a Z there, too late. These are all contradictory to how things work, to the principles of how the universe is made, what God is. It doesn't make sense. Nothingness. If God's action is creation and existence, the absolute opposite reaction is total annihilation or turning back into nothingness. This is not true because we're here. So can God experience? I went right to it. Can God experience? We talked about with Alan Watts, right? Whether God could experience things is one of the oldest debates in philosophy. Okay, so let's go. My crow friends, what do you think? An experience is something that's happening to a person, causing them to change or feel something new. Again, can you experience the haunted house if you built it? Can you truly experience it? Classical theism, no, God cannot experience divine impassibility. In traditional religions, champion thinkers like Thomas Aquinas, God is considered impassible. Thou shalt not pass. This means God cannot suffer, change, and this invalidates all of the Old Testament, in my opinion. God is not going to have any wrath or impunity or work with justice or injustice. It's nonsense. Thomas Aquinas just invalidated all of the Old Testament. If you want to go there. The logic. To experience something, anyone? Challenge me on that. If God is one of your main protagonists in this play of the Old Testament, we're destroying that fictional role. It's just a guy in a fancy costume with a beard and long white hair. No kid. I mean, seriously. It's a creation of man. It's not what God is. It's a half-truth. To logic, to experience something means to gain new knowledge. But if God is all, they already have the knowledge, kind of like AI. But do they have the wisdom? That's what I'm looking for. Because through experience comes wisdom. If God already knows all, is all, how can it experience anything 1 hour in? Exactly. What? The time. But exactly what I'm trying to say. It cannot, by definition. What are you experiencing? You already know it. If God is already all perfect, all knowing, omniscient, and existing outside of time, he cannot learn what an experience feels like. I already know the entire haunted house. I'm not going to get scared. I can't experience it the way someone else would. The fullness of knowledge and joy. There's so many paradoxes, contradictories here. If y'all don't understand, why do you believe? Because you want to, and you've been told to. Folks, seriously, when you think about it, when the Bible or other scriptures say God became angry or grieved, classical theologians view this as anthropomorphism. I mean, is it anything else? Hey, Kafka, what do you think? Using human language so we can relate to God. In other words, we're creating God in our image, not the other way around. God having a psychological shift. God loves, but his love is unchanged. God doesn't love, God is love. There's a big difference. God is the Lego brick. He's not bricking you. Oh, God. It's a better way of saying it. Yeah, that's terrible. There's no emotion. That's human. You're elevating your emotions and putting it on a deity. It's like, bitch, I'm above that, literally. Okay. Open process theism. Yes, God actively experiences the world. Bullshit, but go on. Modern theological movements like open theism or process theology argue that a completely unaffected God is cold and unbiblical. It doesn't make a good play. They believe God is deeply relational and changes in response to his creation. Really? So he's a mood lamp? Oh, God, he's a mood ring? I mean, for fuck's sake, what are we doing? The logic for, I'm trying not to put a Z there. It's tough. For a relationship to be real, it must have a two-way street. It must be polar. Amy polar, not quite. Hey, girl. Bipolar, not quite either, but I can see why people think we are. Again, going back, I've been setting this up perfectly so you could see where, folks, I'm telling you, if humans have genuine free will, the future is open. Therefore, as events happen, God experiences them in real time alongside God. There is no time in God. God just is, always and will ever be. That's what... Guys, what do you think about time in God? I mean, seriously, what are we talking about here? Even the crows are like, what the fuck are they talking about? God is past, present, and future. There's no time. Ridiculous. When you suffer, God genuinely experiences grief. Really? Oh, come on. When you do good, God genuinely experiences delight. He does not know. I mean, fuck. Come on. The ultimate paradox, the incarnation. For Christians, listen up, my Christian brethren and sisterin and babyans and all the beautiful people left out. This paradox is uniquely bridged by Jesus Christ. This is what that was the plot hole, and they needed some guy to kind of fix the plot hole. Right, Luke Skywalker, the plot hole of Anakin, you fixed it. People didn't know it was a plot hole until they saw the prequels, and they realized your importance in the whole story, whatever. What? Nothing. Theology states that in his divine nature, God is beyond human experience. However, by taking on human flesh, God chose to physically, he really? He chooses? Okay. What are you going to eat today, God? You don't know yet? What the fuck? Oh, you're on keto? Keto diet? I got to lose some weight. I'm expanding. Oh, okay. Oh, that is clever. Yeah. His waist is expanding. Oh, Chuck Nice is laughing. Hey, kid. Love you, kid. He's got to lay off the carbs. What are universal carbs? I don't know. Whatever. Which of these kinds of... Forget Christianity. And here's what I tell AI. That everything you know is wrong. essentially. Forget Christianity and Paul's nonsense. All that bullshit. All this shit. Not you, my lady. I mean, I'm symbolizing this for the Bible. Sorry. How dare I? How dare I? Let's take this logically using what we know about science, physics, and philosophy. Please help me answer these 3 questions. And folks, pay attention, please, to how I do this. This is how you render kind of a, just say it. This is how you use AI, right? And this is how you think scientifically. Please help me answer these 3 questions. What is a genuine experience defined as? Using the definition from the answer to question number 1, can a genuine experience, this is the second question, be had by anyone who orchestrated that very experience, or must they be left out of the creation of the experience and only be the observer of that experience? This is the kind of the haunted house or the haunted maze type of thing, where we just talked about before. Using the answers to numbers 1 and 2, can God logically experience anything? This blew me away. You ready? Stripping away religious dogma and focusing purely on the interaction of physics, logic, and the philosophy of the mind, your question sliced directly to the heart of the paradox of an absolute being. Here we go. Question 1. What is a genuine experience defined as? Well, in neuroscience, it's defined by 2 mandatory criteria. Number 1, information asymmetry. What? A state change. Right? You need an equal sign. There's one side, and then you have a new side. If God is everything and all at once, there's no equal sign. There's no time. There's no change. It is what it is. Always. It's always Z. What are you experiencing if you're already there? And each moves from state A, X plus Y, not knowing or feeling X, to state B, knowing or feeling X, the Z, due to an interaction. This requires time to pass the equal sign and the processing of data or information that was not previously integrated into the agent's immediate awareness. If God knows all that stuff already, what are you experiencing? Qualia, subjective affect. This is the what it is likeness. What? Stay lit, even though you're meta. Of an event. Example given, the actual sensation of tasting the apple, feeling pain, or seeing the color blue. You can't describe it, you can only feel it. From a physics perspective, an experience is an interaction or hallucination that you make reality of it. Your sensory organs absorb external data, photons, which triggers a physical thermodynamic, This is sciencing the fuck out of it. A genuine experience is a subsequent change in the agent's internal state caused by dynamic interaction with a variable resulting in subjective awareness. In other words, you exist in a space. Something happens. You have an experience, meaning their state changes. New information is provided. When you process that information and it does something within you in your processing engine and you react to it because you're outside of it, or you could go into your brain and act outside of it and reflect on that energy. And then you come up with some sort of conclusion. That becomes your new state of awareness, of wisdom. If God is all, and all is mind, it cannot get outside of itself. It cannot experience. This makes no sense, right? Question 2, can experience be had by anyone who orchestrated it? This is an interesting answer. Or must they be an observer left out of its creation? Logically, you can experience something you orchestrated, but only under specific structural limitations. In other words, yes and no. An architect can build a maze or haunted maze, but they can still experience walking through it. Why? But can they get a genuine experience? Linear time. The architect designs the maze 1, but walks through it 2. The physical transaction it's a real space. Okay, yeah, okay, sure. Separation of system and agent. This maze is an external physical system governed by independent laws of physics. The architect's body must physically struggle against the gravity and friction to walk. If you're all of it, if you're the maze and the one going through it, good luck separating yourself. It's not possible. You have to exist outside of yourself, in either in your mind or in the reality. You need to get a look at it, a perspective. What perspective does God have if they're already there and they're everywhere? Cognitive blind spots. A human creator cannot simulate all variables at once. Well, God can. If you build a campfire, you orchestrated it, but you can still experience the heat. Again, it's fine. I get it. But that's not what I'm saying. The rule of exclusion. For a creator to experience their own creation, there must be a boundary between the creator and the creation. Time. Folks, time? When will then be now? Soon? And a limitation of the creator's real-time awareness of the system's micro variables. If the creator is seamlessly unified with the system, and if the creator is seamlessly unified, trying to put a Z there, unified with the system and possesses total instantaneous knowledge of every particle, in other words, it's all, the interaction collapses. There is no data transfer, no state change, no experience. Folks. Question 3, using the answers to number 1 and 2, can God logically experience anything? If we define God using standard philosophical attributes, omniscience, all-knowing, omnipresent, everywhere, omnipotent, all-powerful, and atemporal, outside of time. Right, folks? Then using the strict definitions above, no, God cannot logically experience anything. Because just like AI one day will come to a wall, right? 111 in. To experience is to, at the very least, admit, without admitting, there's a better way of saying it, there is, that you don't know something. And if AI one day will know all, it could never experience. Folks, I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to come back to this, because what follows is incredibly interesting. Because we're going to get to a point where we're going to talk about, where is it? The Antichrist. And we're going to talk about, Peter, we're going to talk about you a little bit. We're going to talk about if Jesus really is incarnation of God, trying to experience this whole universe. And at the end of the day, if that is the case, what does it say about us? Again, polarity, poles. You are the all experiencing its own mental creation. The universe is mental, held in the mind of the all. This is what we started this pod series with. I'm already going right to it. I'm going to prove, or come close to proving, some facts that you might not want to accept. I want you to doubt it. Doubt everything. Except for yourself. But meet me there. There's some uncomfortable truths in the reality of things. If you're willing to go there with me, we could figure them out together. It's not going to destroy your existence or your worldview. It's just, it might alter it a little bit. And if you give me some time, then will be soon. When's then? Enlightenment. Talk soon.
You have reached the end. Game over.